The weekly Coaches News Conference on KLPS TV is brought to you by Hawthorne Bank, a proud sponsor of Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of strong community in a strong school district. We also understand the importance of strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses. Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. And by Jackson Hewitt. For all your tax needs, personal or business, rely on tax professionals at Jackson Hewitt and Liberty, a full-service tax preparation professional. It's Jackson Hewitt.
Hello, welcome to the weekly Liberty Public Schools football press conference. I'm Coach Clemens. I'm the head football coach for the Liberty North Eagles. We had our homecoming week last week. It was a successful and enjoyable week for everybody, I think. Football team got a nice victory over Park Hill South, who is an excellent football team. We're happy to have pulled that one out. Our offensive player of the game was Brian Sharp, who threw for 170 yards. Defensive player of the game was Aaron Wigfall, who made a lot of outstanding plays, and our special teams player of the game was Raul Garcia, who punted nicely, gave us a lot of good field position in the special teams, and made a field goal that proved to be the difference in the game. I'd like to open it to questions now.
Did the homecoming atmosphere help you guys Friday night?
Oh, I think it's always it always provides some energy when people are there and when people are excited about the night. Then, yeah, energy is contagious.
Does this win is this win really helping the guys as you guys are moving forward into the next week as far as momentum goes?
Well, winning gives your football team energy. You know, losing kind of sucks some energy out of you. So it always is a good thing for a football program when you win a game. You know, when you go into the next week, you always feel a little bit better about things.
Going into this game, you guys were somewhat of underdogs. How did you guys respond to that?
How do we respond to being underdogs? You know, we're kind of used to it since we're Class 4, and that was our 7th Class 5 opponent, 6th. That was our 6th Class 5 opponent. And all the way through our program, it's been that way. I think one of our coaches broke down that we've played, you know, program-wide, we've played 39 games this year, and only 5 of them have been against Class 4 opponents. The rest have been against Class 5 and 6 opponents. So we're accustomed to being in the underdog role a little bit, and so I think that was just a normal thing for our kids.
Do you think playing all of these higher level opponents, do you think that's going to help you guys when you guys get into the playoffs?
You know, in my opinion, playing good opponents only helps you if you come out of it with some wins. I think it could have been devastating for us going into the playoffs had we not pulled out a couple of these late season wins. But you know, when you play good opponents and beat them, then yes, that helps you moving on. You know, would I rather lose to a good opponent or beat a bad opponent? I'd rather beat the bad opponent, to be honest with you.
How do you keep your guys interested, or not really interested, but you know, this late to the season, your mind might be going somewhere else? How do you spice things up a little bit?
That's a good question. We you know, we shorten the practices a little bit. We take a little bit of load off of their legs. You know, we try to move quicker pace in practice. Sometimes we just do something as simple as switching ends of the field that we practice on, just anything to change up the routine a little bit. On homecoming Friday, we had a football meeting in the morning and just told jokes all morning. And so, you know, we're reaching that point in the year where it is time to take a mental load off the kids and a physical load off them as well.
And along with that, are there any like injuries that, you know, end of the year obviously, so they're
we've got some injuries. Jace Wilhite hasn't played in a couple weeks because of a sprained ankle. Myron Powell hasn't played in 3 weeks because of a broken elbow, and they're our senior linebackers. So we've moved Nick Hess to linebacker, and he's done an excellent job. He's pretty much demonstrated to us that that's probably his natural position, and it's where he belongs. And Sal Silvio is doing a good job in there despite having broken his hand this year. So that position we've been getting a lot of injuries at linebacker. As far as the other positions, we've got some muscle strains here and there, but nothing that's going to keep kids off the field just yet.
What did Aaron Wigfall do for you guys on Friday night?
Aaron Wigfall is a defensive back and plays on a lot of our special teams. He's been doing an excellent job coming up in run support, making tackles, important tackles for us. On last Friday night, he made a lot of plays in the passing game as well. He had an excellent game, and he keeps getting better. Aaron's the kind of kid where, if he starts it off right, then he's going to have a great night. And he started off right against Park Hill South, and he's fast and athletic and does a great job for us.
Could you talk a little bit about the importance of this game on Friday? Going into the district or going into the playoffs.
Well, it's a Class 4 opponent, and it's a conference opponent. We've had a couple of really tough games with them the last 2 years. They're extremely athletic offensively. We were looking at the breakdown of offensive ranks in the city. They've got the number 1 wide receiver in the city. They've got the number 3 quarterback in the city, and they've got, I believe, the number 6 or 7 offense in the city. So I mean, they're an explosive team that plays a lot of good offense. So it's going to be just another challenge for us. They will be the first team that we played this year that is bigger than us up front. Their linemen are bigger kids than ours are. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
So what have you been telling your defense to get ready for those star players like the wide receiver and the quarterback and then that line?
Well, having said already that their offense is explosive and really good, it seems that in high school football these days everybody has a good offense. Our kids have become accustomed to playing good offenses week in and week out, and so we're not doing anything unusual or extraordinary this week. We're just lining up and playing Liberty North football and applying it to what Grandview does. If we come with our minds right, we should have a fun night. If we come out with our minds wrong, I think that it could be a long, difficult night.
How have your other coaches contributed to your success along this season?
Well, I would say first off, our defensive staff has done a great job, particularly the last 2 weeks of game planning against teams that do some things that we hadn't seen yet this year. I think the Platte County game plan was a great defensive game plan, and then the Park Hill South game plan. I think that our defensive staff could have been in the huddle with their team, listening to their play calls. Probably the biggest thing that the staff as a whole has done is continued to coach kids in the fundamentals of the game. The staff has remained disciplined in their practice of teaching. We haven't gone outside of our own capabilities in terms of what to teach, and we haven't stepped outside of the kids' abilities in terms of what we've asked them to do, and that's probably the hardest thing to do as a coach, and our staff is doing a tremendous job, and I don't know a staff that is willing to work and cooperate as much as our staff is, and I think that's had a great deal to do with the last couple wins that we've had.
What is the biggest improvement you've made since day one of your season?
Biggest improvement we've made since day one. I think that we know ourselves better than we knew ourselves day one. We know what kind of team we have to be in order to win. We're taking care of the football better. You know, we've turned it over. You know, we turned it over once against Park Hill South, and it was almost a costly one. But you know, we're taking care of the football. We're playing the pass better. And again, we're disciplining our minds better in terms of what we need to do in order to win football games.
You said something about senior Myron Powell breaking his elbow. Being his last year, do you think he'll play again?
Myron has actually gone and gotten a cast that goes from his shoulder to his wrist, and he's been cleared to play. He ran downfield on a couple kickoffs last week for us on Friday night. We'll probably get him some playing time this week. The cast really it takes away, really disables his ability to tackle anybody on his right-hand side, obviously where the cast is. But he's looking at probably sometime next week. The cast is coming off, and then we'll start working him back in. You know, in some ways, you know, we've been able to get a couple kids on the field and make a couple changes on defense that have made us a better team as a result of some of these injuries. So, you know, but Myron was our leading tackler when he went out and during the Kearney game, and so we will, you know, we'll find a way to work him back in. But you know, the two young men at the position are playing really well right now too.
And then finally, what would you say the highlight of the year in your mind has been so far?
Highlight of the year, you know, as a coach, it's kind of hard to enjoy the highlights when you're in the middle of a season. I would say the greatest relief of the year is winning last Friday. You know, I think that, you know, as a football coach, the losses wound you deeply, and the wins just provide a little bit of temporary relief. So, you know, we are certainly very pleased to have beaten Platte County and to have beaten Park Hill South, and I would say that those are the two highlights of the season right now. Hopefully we can get some more highlights that when this is all over we can look back and enjoy them. Well, thank everybody for coming. Coach Freegon's next.